So believe it or not, I've never actually done a video talking about TV before, so what's a better way to start than with one of the most brilliant shows that I've ever seen in my life. This season of Black Mirror started off with a bang because the very first episode, entitled USS Callister, was one of my favorite of the bunch. It had some very interesting tech and it contained some fantastic themes about loneliness, power, and gaming culture overall. But what really makes an episode like USS Callister so great is, of course, under all of this technology and under all of the futuristic science fiction covered material comes a thick layer of humanity, a compelling narrative, and even some strong dark humor. This is what Black Mirror is all about. So in that way, USS Callister really captures the essence of what kind of a show this really is. It makes you think and it makes you care. Archangel was one of those mid-tier to good episodes for me, but for Black Mirror, that bar is set pretty ridiculously high to begin with even the weaker episodes being usually fairly strong in their own regard, with the exclusion of only a few. Archangel makes interesting points and arguments about parenting and the lengths that we will go to protect the ones that we love. This episode makes some heavy commentary on security and the dangers of being too careful for one's own good. In that way, Archangel feels like an important episode, and though not being one of my favorite episodes of the season, I would say that it would probably be the one that hits closest to reality. Crocodile is a tough watch. If you're not into dark storylines and heavy character-driven drama, well, what the hell are you doing watching Black Mirror? Crocodile holds its own as perhaps one of the darkest episodes of the series, and honestly, I absolutely love it. It's a horrible telling of a story about a woman who goes too far, and though you are never quite on her side because, look, she does some bad things, you at least understand her motivations. Morally, it's a mixed bag, and it may even be a difficult episode for some people to get through, but if this is in your wheelhouse in any way, I'd say that sticking through with it is definitely worth it. So with episode 4, we get a bit of a break from the tension. We get a bit of light to oppose the darkness. Hang the DJ is easily the most optimistic episode of this season. But even with that being said, it's still got its fair share of tragedy, and oddly enough, this is another episode that, again, I do really like. Surprise, surprise. Romance is not unheard of when it comes to Black Mirror, as we've seen from episodes like San Junipero, which heavily focuses on it, and episodes like Be Right Back and The Entire History of You, which aren't exactly romantic, but do explore relationships between lovers. Hang the DJ is thankfully a little closer to San Junipero in this way, as we strongly root for these characters to unite by the end. The characters are likable and charming, and this episode has quite a bit of clever comedy and dialogue because of that. This is really a great episode, and it's a little bit more light and enjoyable. In it, we also get some fantastic commentary on modern dating, relationships old and new, and love and the effects of it. Alright, so episode 5. This is really the main event. This is really what I wanted to make the video about, to be honest, because oh my god, Metalhead. Metalhead makes me so mad. It just makes me angry. There is something of a gravitas to Black Mirror as a show. It's a phenomenal show that makes some phenomenal points. It's clever, it's modern, it plays with futuristic technology realistically, and of course, it holds up a mirror to the dark side of humanity. Black Mirror in general is ingenious, but with Metalhead, I can't even find redeeming features. I can't even appreciate it on an individual level, for its visuals, for its acting, or for anything else, because it's all brought down by an idiotic and lazy plot. Metalhead could have been a fine short film. I can see the appeal in a simple chase-led story between man and robot. That's fine. That I get. That is basically what the Terminator is, and I absolutely love the Terminator. But Black Mirror isn't the Terminator. It's just simply a different breed. Metalhead pushes you messily into a random, overdone, and overbearingly boring apocalyptic setting and expects you to care. Metalhead is weak in theme, story, and character. There is no real point to any of it, and it's not trying to say something clever. It doesn't make you think, and worst of all, it doesn't even resemble reality. I can't relate to an episode like Metalhead, so what's the point? Black Mirror is supposed to make you feel for the fantastical. It's supposed to bring you into these futuristic worlds and still somehow make you relate. But how can I relate to this? It's a robot dog killing people, and that's it. This episode seemed like it was written by a 10-year-old. I freaking wrote this when I was 10, or at least something similar. The focus, the danger, the one thing that this episode is about is a robot dog decapitating people. It's childish, and I just can't get behind it for a second. I was angry as the episode begun, and I didn't really stop until the next day, because this episode just sucks. I hate it so much. I even kept waiting for the twist. I kept thinking, this is gonna get good, isn't it? There's something deeper going on, isn't there? What are the dark implications of this world, Is she a prisoner? Is she dead? Does the robot dog have a person in it? Is it it actually set in the past? Was it Earth's New York City the whole time? But nothing. No, I was wrong. And not to say that a twist would have like completely saved the episode. It's not like a twist makes an episode good or anything, but I was at least hoping for something a little deeper than just a robot dog killing people for no real reason other than it's the apocalypse and the robot dog is programmed to kill people. At least Waldo tried to make a point about politics, or whatever the hell Waldo tried to do. Fuck this episode. Black Museum is arguably the darkest episode of the season, what with its multiple stories of soul-crushing science fiction and horribleness. Black Museum had not just one, but two of the grossest stories and scenes in the entire series for me personally. But for that, I have to give credit to the show, because not just anything can make me say that. Black Museum takes you on a dark journey through past and present and cleverly pieces it all together. It's haunting, it's captivating, and it's even, like, kind of scary. One complaint that I do have about this episode, though, is its failed attempts at humor throughout. This wasn't an episode that needed it, and it didn't really fit in, especially the particularly low-brow brand of comedy that it was going for. It was just kind of weird and out of place. Overall, though, this was still a really strong episode. Black Mirror proves to still be an extremely strong show throughout its fourth season. Its mature themes that explore the darkness that comes with humanity is fascinating, and with each episode, with the exclusion of one, comes new ideas and moral questions that bear strength and complexity. There is much discussion that can be had about many of the things behind these episodes, and I really appreciate that too. The writing here was mainly fantastic, the cast all do fantastic jobs, and compared to other seasons of Black Mirror, I'd say that season 4 definitely holds its place on par with the rest. It was certainly not a letdown. Except for Metalhead.